Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Living to Learn. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day, out of your busy life to listen to what I have to say, to check out my content, checking out my videos. I hope you'll go back and watch some of the ones that I've recorded previously. And if they're helpful, share them with someone you think might benefit from them. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Also, in the description of my videos, you're going to find my TikTok and Instagram handle at Live to Learn Coaching. Same handle for TikTok and Instagram. You can follow me there for more content. You can also reach out to me directly if you would like to communicate with me, if you have any questions, if you want me to cover a certain topic, if you want to pat me on the back, if you want to provide some constructive criticism, those are the ways to do so. At Live to Learn Coaching. Also in the description of the video, 3 opportunities for you to take your support beyond just liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. You can donate financially to ensure that I can continue to make this content on a weekly basis. I love what I do. I do my best. It's not something that's easy. So, hey, the support helps. If you can't do it, no problem. Those of you that have taken your support to that level, I really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you for that. So let's get started. Last week, we talked about one of my core values. What are the core values, right? Every business has a mission statement. They've got their core values. They've got what are they about? Like, what do they stand for? Where are they coming from? And before I get started, I do want to just kind of point out the obvious if you haven't already noticed. I don't know if I've just not noticed my past recordings, but you see those beams of light coming down behind me. It's not because I'm holier than thou. It's not because I'm just this holy, pious individual. It looks kind of cool, but I've got to get the lighting situation figured out. This is the first time I've ever seen this. Maybe it's happened before. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want. Like, hey, this has been happening since you've been recording. I have not noticed if that's the case, but I really noticed today. And so, unfortunately, I didn't have time to go grab a light, or I tried a few different things. But my main thing here is to continue to be consistent. So, hey, it is what it is. Forgive me. I'm sorry if it's annoying. I'm sorry if it's distracting. I am going to work on it. I'm going to give me some lighting. I'm going to try to figure this thing out. All right. So bear with me. But anyway, last week we talked about our core value, which was inclusivity. That's one of the core values of at Live to Learn Coaching, of Living to Learn. Inclusivity. Why? Because I create content. This content that you see on YouTube, this content that you see on IG, on TikTok, whatever it is I'm sharing, whether it's something that I like from someone else or it's my own personal content, everything that I share is with the intention to be inclusive to others. Okay? I want this to be an inclusive space. I want this to be a space where anyone, regardless of how you identify, regardless of where you come from, regardless of whether or not you and I agree on everything, that's not that important either. I want you to feel welcomed here. I want you to feel like what I'm giving out is for you to take. It's for you to take and work with and use and utilize, and hopefully it's going to help you. Today I want to talk about another core value of mine, of this channel, of this platform, and that is transparency. Now, I think I shared this. Well, I know I've shared it. I've shared it a few times. That I got to, for a semester, I got to teach a class on leadership as an adjunct professor. It was one of the more interesting and one of the more valuable experiences I've had. I say interesting because it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about my teaching style, right? If I were to become a teacher, if I was to become a professor, like this is how you're seen by the students. And it really opened my eyes. And I gotta say this. If I could do it over again, I think there's definitely some things I would have done different. So I hope I have the opportunity to do so. But I really loved it. I really did enjoy it. And I know that just from the feedback that I got from the students that were in that class, that I was able to present some things of value, some things for them to take away. And so I'm proud of that. But it was a leadership course, and it was an introductory leadership course. And I'll remember clear as day, and I still have the book here on my bookshelf. I should probably maybe kind of run through it again because it was really good. I liked it, right? So we got to a chapter, one of the weeks, where we were talking about transformational leadership, and there were two specific qualities that are with a part of a transformational leader. One was empathy. We'll talk about that in a little bit. One was empathy. Another was transparency. I want to talk about transparency. Okay. Empathy, very important. Transparency. What does transparency do? What is it? What does it allow? So let me tell you what it's not, at least to me. Okay. When I talk about being transparent, now this happens so often in our society. We say things. It's funny, like we're funny as a people, because we walk around and we use words and we use phrases, and they're understood by other people like ourselves. Like we get the meaning, but if you were to actually look up the word or the phrase, it's probably incorrect. We do it all the time. We say things and we know what we mean, and the person we're talking to knows what we mean, but in all actuality, that's not what it means. So transparency to me is kind of like that. So let me explain. Here's what transparency is not. This is what my core value is not. I don't believe in putting my business out there for no reason. That's not what transparency is to me. Transparency is not me sharing personal, private, sensitive information with people I don't know, with people that I've not built a bond with, people that I don't have a history with. That's not what I mean when I say transparency. And some of you can relate to what I'm going to talk about next. We all have a friend, or maybe more than one friend, who uses social media to put their business out there. When I was growing up, that was called you're putting it on blast, right? You're making it known to everyone. And it doesn't need to be. Now, let me pull on empathy for a little bit, right? Because we mentioned empathy earlier. I empathize with individuals. Why? Because I understand and I realize that for some people, social media is the only platform where they get to voice themselves. They get to say something. And they don't care who's listening, as long as someone's listening. See, not everyone has that. Not everyone has someone to confide in. Not everyone has someone to talk to. And this is where I like to position myself as a coach, to be that resource, to be someone that can be talked to, that can be spoken to. Be someone that can be, hey, I just need someone to hear me out. Very important, very powerful, if you think about it. But going back to transparency, that's not what I mean. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying, hey, you know what? I am I'm an open book. That's not what I mean at all. There's always a level of practicality when we do things. There always should be a space or a place for us to respect ourselves and to take ourselves serious. Not everyone needs to know what's going on. But here's what I do mean when I say transparency. I mean the opportunity to be real. I mean the action of being myself, being able to just be my authentic self. And I invite that from the people who are watching this. I invite that from the individuals who might benefit from someone like myself. Someone like myself helping them. Because transparency, what that does, it does foster security. It does help to build trust. When it comes to business, when it comes to relationships, when there's no trust, there really isn't much further that we can go. Now, I think about that, right, in regards to my own life, my circle. And I'll use the bank account analogy again, right? There are individuals in my life who have made a lot of deposits into my life. Their deposits are earning interest. What does that mean? That means when they need something from me, all they have to do is type in the PIN and withdraw. And what that literally means is when they need me, I'm there. The only two people that would come before that would be my children. They get first dibs on everything because they're my kids and they didn't ask to be here. But beside that, there's people in my life, there's people in my world that all they need to do is ask and I'm there. And then there's other people who every once in a while will make a deposit. And so they've got a limit. I love them. I care about them. I hope they're doing well. I just don't have much to give to them. Those are boundaries. What transparency does, it allows us to talk about things like that. It allows us to be able to say that. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be upfront with you. This, and this. That is also a way to build trust. That is also a form of building trust. But as a core value, what transparency is, in the simplest way I can say it is, you don't have to be afraid to come to this platform, to come to the table, to meet me, to engage with myself or someone like me. You don't have to come in and pretend that you're someone else. And at the same time, I don't have to sit here and I don't have to pretend to be someone else. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm referring to when I talk about transparency. And you guys have heard me say this before on other videos. You've heard me acknowledge my own journey. You've heard me acknowledge my own struggles, the things that I don't get right, my procrastinating, my self-doubt, my self-judgment, my lack of self-compassion. I am in no way at the finish line, wherever that is, if there even is one. I'm still learning. The channel's called Living to Learn. I'm still learning, and I'll continue to learn. And even in my expertise, even in my capacity, which is I am very much capable of helping someone else. I'm very much capable of counseling others. Even in that, I'm still working on myself. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about transparency. That's what I mean. That's what I'm getting at. Core value, transparency. You get to be you, I get to be me. And I think that's how we help each other out. That's one of the ways. That's one of the most important things that we can bring to the table. So thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Have a great day.